Well, hello everyone. My name is Dar Rath and I'm the pastor at Faith Lutheran Church in Port Elgin, Ontario, Canada. And each week I bring you a story. Sometimes they're funny, sometimes they're just interesting and give you something to think about. And so that's the case with this story I'm going to tell you. It starts out as a bit of a joke, but then you'll see why it is more serious. First of all, I'll tell you this story. I've told it before, and everyone just loved it, so I'm telling this again. It's been a long time. The story is from James Cagle. The story is told of an old man whose grandson rode a donkey while they were traveling from one city to another. The man heard some people say, "Would you look at that old man suffering on his feet while that strong boy is totally capable of walking?" So then the old man rode the donkey while the boy walked, and he heard some people say, "Would you look at that, a healthy man making the poor young boy suffer? Can you believe it?" So the man and the boy both rode the donkey, and they heard some people say, "Would you look at those heavy brutes making the poor donkey suffer?" So they both got off and walked until they heard some people say, "Would you look at that waste, a perfectly good donkey not being used?" In the final scene, the boy is walking and the old man is carrying the donkey. So, the moral of this story, no matter what you do, someone can always criticize it. So what is the opposite of criticism? It is acceptance and support and encouragement. And we all need that to be our part of our lives. It's said of parents rearing children that our children become what we think of them. If we think they fall short and they do not meet our expectations, then that is what they will do. If we support and encourage them, see them in the best way, they will rise to the challenge. The president of Sloan Kettering Laboratories once told a medical convention, "My father was a country doctor. We now know, scientifically speaking, that he didn't carry a thing in that black bag that would cure anybody. But people got well because he patted them and said, 'You're going to make it.'" That encouragement releases the body's amazing power to heal itself. Man lives by affirmation even more than he lives by bread. And that was a statement said by Victor Hugo. And there is some truth to that for sure. Now here's an example, a personal example. When I was in the seminary, one course that I was taking was really doing me in. It was really difficult. And you had to, in that program in university, receive at least a C+ in all of your courses. We had to write a short paper each week, and they were graded and handed out at the end of each week. And after 5 weeks, I was only receiving a C at best. And so after 3 years into the Master of Divinity program, I was failing a course. What a waste. I would be kicked out. My classmates were pulling off A's and A+, and so I finally made an appointment with the professor. I explained that I was a very good student. I was spending more time on his course than any other, and only achieving a C grade. I thought I was writing excellent papers. He said, "Well, not for me." He explained that I was trying to be too clever and writing flowery stuff. He said, "Make a point and back it up. Make another point and back it up with some evidence." I said, "Well, that would be boring." And he said, "Not for me. I want to know that you know the material in this course, not if you can write prose." And so, the next paper I wrote, I did exactly as he said. He handed out the papers the following week. I held my breath when I looked at the last page to see the mark. And there it was, a B+. I looked up at him and he smiled at me. I'll never forget in my life the encouragement of that smile. I passed the course without further difficulty. Some years ago, a report came over the news wires about a man who committed suicide at his place of employment. What made the report newsworthy was the note that the man left to his boss. The note was placed so that it would be found on his body. It read, "I have worked for you for more than 30 years, and in all those years you never once told me anything I did well. You only told me what I did wrong. We can understand that. We can understand that well." We should live out our life being kind and welcoming and encouraging to others. We do not like to be criticized, and neither do others. So blessings on your day, and thanks so much for taking 5. And I hope that these stories, these little stories, had some meaning for you. See you next week.